Seeing this continent, this thing of you guys moving from one country to the other, it's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore.
A few moments later.
You may be wondering why and how this is happening. Stay close. In April 2026, disturbing scenes from South Africa sent shockwaves across the African continent. Ghanaians, Nigerians, Zimbabweans, and other African migrants found themselves once again at the center of hostility. Videos flooded social media, foreign-owned shops attacked, families terrified, African brothers and sisters being told they do not belong, for millions watching across Africa. This was not just another immigration crisis, it was a painful contradiction, a betrayal of Pan-African unity, a direct challenge to the dream of a united Africa. How did South Africa, a nation once supported by the rest of Africa during apartheid, become a place where fellow Africans fear for their safety? Why are immigrants repeatedly blamed for economic hardship, and what does this latest xenophobic wave mean for Africa's future? Today, we break down the recent xenophobic incidents in South Africa, Ghana's diplomatic response, the political realities behind the violence, and what this means for the continent. Because this crisis is bigger than one country. It is about identity. It is about economics. It is about politics, and ultimately, it is about whether Africa can truly unite. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel for deep African political analysis, breaking continental issues, and powerful documentaries that mainstream media often ignores. The latest xenophobic tensions erupted after multiple reports and viral videos showed African migrants facing harassment in parts of South Africa, particularly in communities where anti-immigrant rhetoric has intensified. Groups claiming to defend local jobs accused foreign nationals of taking employment opportunities, running informal businesses unfairly, increasing crime, overburdening public services. These accusations, while politically powerful, often ignore deeper structural problems. High unemployment, economic stagnation, government corruption, poor service delivery. Rather than addressing policy failures, migrants frequently become easy scapegoats for many South Africans struggling economically. Foreigners are portrayed as visible competitors, but critics argue the real issue lies in governance failures, inequality, and systemic poverty. Ghanaian citizens were among those directly affected, sparking outrage in Ghana. Ghana's government responded swiftly, summoning South Africa's diplomatic representatives and demanding urgent protections for Ghanaian nationals. This transformed a domestic South African issue into an international diplomatic concern. Do you think migrants are unfairly blamed for government failures? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Ghana has historically positioned itself as a champion of African unity. From Kwame Nkrumah's vision of continental liberation to modern visa-friendly African integration policies, Ghana has consistently promoted Pan-Africanism. So when Ghanaians in South Africa faced threats, Ghana's response carried symbolic weight. Government officials strongly condemned xenophobic attacks. Diplomatic channels were activated, public pressure mounted. Across Ghanaian social media, citizens questioned whether African solidarity was merely rhetoric. Many asked, how can Africans preach unity while attacking one another? This diplomatic tension also revived broader debates about migration, sovereignty, and reciprocal treatment between African states. For many Ghanaians, the attacks were not just about safety, they represented disrespect toward Ghana's long-standing support for liberation struggles across Africa. To understand xenophobia in South Africa, we must examine internal realities. South Africa faces one of the highest unemployment rates in the world. Youth unemployment remains devastatingly high. Poverty, inequality, and frustration dominate many communities. Despite being Africa's most industrialized economy, wealth remains deeply unequal. The apartheid legacy still shapes access to opportunity. In this volatile environment, anti-immigrant narratives gain traction. Political populists exploit public anger. Foreigners become visible targets. This pattern is not new. Major xenophobic violence erupted in 2008, 2015, 2019, and now, 2026. Each cycle reveals unresolved tensions, and each time, African unity suffers. If you're finding this breakdown insightful, hit the like button. It helps this video reach more viewers and supports more African-centered journalism. South Africa's freedom struggle was supported by many African nations. Countries like Ghana offered political, moral, and diplomatic support during apartheid. African states sacrificed resources for South Africa's liberation. This history makes xenophobic hostility especially painful. For critics, these attacks represent historical amnesia, political failure, continental hypocrisy. Pan-Africanism envisions unity, cooperation, shared prosperity, collective security, yet xenophobia undermines all four. If Africans cannot move safely across African borders, can true continental integration ever succeed? This question now sits at the center of Africa's future. Social media has amplified this crisis dramatically. Viral clips often intensify outrage. Hashtags trend rapidly. Diplomatic pressure escalates. While awareness increases, misinformation can also inflame tensions. Political opportunists exploit online anger. This digital battlefield shapes continental narratives faster than ever before. For content creators, journalists, and policymakers, responsible reporting is critical. Closing reflection. 57:00, 60:00. Narrator, the recent xenophobic incidents in South Africa are not isolated. They are symptoms of deeper problems: economic desperation, political manipulation, weak governance, broken Pan-African ideals. Africa stands at a crossroads. Will the continent embrace unity, or will division continue to weaken its collective future? South Africa's crisis is Africa's warning, and how African leaders respond may shape the continent for generations. If you believe Africa's future depends on unity, justice, and stronger leadership, subscribe, like, share this documentary, comment your perspective below. Should African governments take stronger action against xenophobia? Your voice matters.